New beginnings. Beginnings usually start with chaos. You know, all the stories I've read that have creation stories, most of them start with chaos. Most of them start with blackness or the abyss or whatever, you know. And that's, I think that's how most beginnings occur, you know. So I want to tell you a story about when I got married. The second time. My wife, my lovely wife Barbara and I, we're married now. It'll be 19 years the 25th, Monday. And that's a record for both of us, that's for sure. We've both been married before. Actually, my friend here, Dave, his wife was one of the pastors that married us. We had a male and female pastor that married us. We got married in Moravian Church in Nazareth, but Laura, Dave's wife, is what do you call her?
Priest, Episcopal priest.
Episcopal priest, and it was a really nice ceremony. Now, my wife and I, we knew each other for about almost 2 years before we decided to get married, and we never really traveled together. So we went on our honeymoon, a brief little honeymoon after we got married, saying that we were going to go on this adventure later on. You know, I was teaching school at the time, so we wait till school ended, and that way we go for an extended type of honeymoon, and we were going to go to Nova Scotia. Now, one of the best things that we ever got when we got married was some advice from a dear friend of ours that said, the key to marriage is communication. No matter what, communicate. Even if you have to talk about your athlete's feet, communicate. So we get all ready to go on this trip, and my wife is a planner. I'm not. She had everything down, the maps and this and that, and it was all together. You know, we had this agenda, we had this schedule, we had all these things. And then when it was time to leave, she ran around the house putting timers on lamps and making sure that people were going to come in and watch the cats, and there was enough litter and there was enough cat food, and these windows were locked, and this light was on a timer, and all this stuff which was very foreign to me. I packed the car and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and freaking waited and you really waited, you know. And finally she comes down and she says, okay, are you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. And we start off on our vacation, and I'm steaming. You know, I couldn't comprehend this. I didn't understand this. When I go away on an adventure like this, I'm like a kid, you know, before Christmas. You know what I mean? I couldn't sleep the night before. I'm all anxious to go and stuff. And this was just blowing my mind. So we had our very first fight in the car a block away from the house. We're driving down the road, and I said, what in the hell were you doing? Well, I was taking care of the house. Don't you do that, you know? And I said, no, what? And she told me all this stuff, and we went back and forth and bickered and back and forth. And finally, we just stopped. Nobody talked. Silence. I turned on the radio. She turned it off. I turn it back on. She turns it back off. Silence. And then she says to me, so tell me, how's your athlete's foot? Thank you very much.